Antonio Conte is in at Spurs. So this is a keep or dump edition following his appointment, because obviously the rumour mill has been rife with players that he might be looking to bring in with the 150 million he's reportedly got to spend, and those that he may be looking to dump and get rid of. So, Stevie, we're going to go through a few of the names. Let's start with a few of those that have been linked with the club. Although, you know what I'd like to start with first with you? Where do you think he needs to address which area on the pitch first? And that will help me decide.
Oh, that's kind of a large area.
The whole pitch.
Listen, up front, you've got Son and Kane. If you've got those two players, I think, you've got a chance. It's what's
Kane.
going on. Yeah, Kane and Son, absolutely, 100%. It's what's going on behind there that is the problem. The middle of the park gives them nothing. The middle of the park, number one, isn't supplying Kane and Son. And the middle of the park isn't stopping anybody getting to the back four. You reach the back four needs redone. Romero's come in and done pretty well, but you're not ready to hang your hat on him. And the goalkeeper, again, in my opinion, Lloris, has passed his best. So we're looking at the defence, both from a midfield and back four point of view, and certainly in the midfield, we're looking from an attacking point of view, because, as I said, we're not supplying the front line with anything whatsoever.
So there's lots of names that have been linked from the Serie A, as you can imagine. You talk about midfielders and midfielders that you can rely on. Two of those are Marcelo Brozovic and Franck Kessie. What do you think of those links?
Well, I think straight away, if those two come in, then they make them better straight away. Brozovic, you talk about experience. Brozovic played in the World Cup final. I mean, the guy knows what he's doing. Kessie is a presence. I don't think Tottenham have a presence in the middle of the park, and he certainly fills that. Plus, he can play, and he's a big, strong boy. And when you step on the field and he's standing next to you, you're thinking, I'm glad he's on my side. So, listen, there's no question for me that both Brozovic and Kessie would make Tottenham better right off the bat.
Stefan Vrij is one of the centre-backs that's been linked. Alessio Romagnoli as well, which I thought was a weird link, given how things have been going at Milan for him.
Well, I get the Vrij. I don't get the Romagnoli one. Tottenham are getting off centre-backs that are not particularly good right now, and so that wouldn't make any sense for me. The Vrij would, 29, loads of experience, probably at his peak, in my opinion. And again, he makes them better straight away. I think they're struggling at centre-back. Sanchez has never been a regular ever. I don't think Eric Dyer's a centre-back. And so De Vrij coming in and maybe partnering Romero would be a decent start for them. So, yeah, De Vrij makes sense. Romagnoli, no.
So you're dumping Romagnoli, you're keeping De Vrij. It sounds there like you're dumping Dyer and Sanchez as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they don't do anything for Spurs defensively. Dyer or Sanchez are not particularly Ronald Koeman pinging balls from the back. So, you're just basically talking about average centre-backs. And that's not good enough for Tottenham.
Keep or dump Ndombele?
That's a tough one. And Ndombele's one of those guys that every now and again he shows you something that makes you want to think that he's about to turn the corner, but he just never has done in 2 seasons. I think you keep him. Maybe Conte can get something out of him. I think he has ability, but right now it doesn't seem as though he knows how to channel the ability that he's got to make the team better.
Keep or dump Dele Alli?
I think Dele Alli's time's done at Spurs. And he doesn't look as though he's particularly desperate to be there. I don't think, the fact that he sometimes hasn't been in the 18, the only way I can look at that is to suggest that something wrong with his attitude. Listen, I don't know that for a fact. But when you've got his ability and you don't even get in the squad, either you've chucked it, maybe the manager just doesn't fancy him at all, but it kind of suggests that his head's not in it.
Harry Winks, keep or dump?
Yeah, Harry Winks isn't going to make Tottenham any better. Not at all.
All right, so I just want to end on the Kane point then. Obviously, Kane's still there at the moment, but there's been a lot of talk about whether his head's still in it, whether he wants to be there. Can something change for him, or should he look at a replacement like Dusan Vlahovic, who's also been linked?
Well, listen, anybody who gets Dusan Vlahovic is getting a player. There's no question about that. The ideal world, the scenario is that you keep Kane and you get Vlahovic. I mean, to be able to have Son next to those two as well would be fantastic. But Harry Kane, hopefully Conte can come in and ruffle Harry's feathers and get him back to where he was and certainly where he should be. Because I'd like to think, or I would imagine, if I'm Conte, one of my first questions is, right, we're keeping Harry Kane, right? Because you don't get rid of one of the best centre forwards in world football just because he's not at a great start. Because that's what it is. And the last 8 years, this is his first real sort of dry spell, shall we say? So you don't get rid of somebody like that so quickly. So I would imagine that Harry Kane will stay, and Conte will be getting on his back and ruffling his feathers and getting him playing again.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.